Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. It is early April here in the Adirondacks. We still have some cold weather to deal with, and if you follow my channel you know that I boondock 90% of the time, which means I'm not hooked to power. I do have a generator, but there are places that you can only use that generator for a limited amount of time. So I'm always looking for some way to heat my rig without using power. And I'm trying out a new source of heat tonight. So follow along. Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to continue to follow my adventures. But today's video is not an adventure. Today's video is another way of heating my rig. And like I mentioned before, I boondock 90% of the time. And most of the time during the summer, I don't need to have to worry about heat at all. But this whole body does like to keep warm. And you know, I do have a heating pad that I can put on my bed that I can plug into the jackery. That's great, but I like to have a way to heat the camper. Now my camper does have a furnace. Some of you have asked about that. Why don't you use your furnace on board? And so out here I'm currently in the Grass River Wild Forest, and there is nobody around. I mean, I can hear a loon over here, I can hear a woodpecker over here. So anyways, there's nobody around. I could probably run my generator all night long and run the furnace with it without any issues, without anyone complaining. But there are times I'm in an area where I have neighbors, and running your generator all night would be not very neighborly. And so I'd like to have a way to heat without using power. If I use my furnace without the generator, it will run off my batteries. But a furnace depletes the battery system very quickly. So that is something I don't want to get into at 4 o'clock in the morning with my low voltage going off. I've had that happen before. It's not fun. My old camper always seemed to be between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. The batteries would be at the low voltage. But since I've got this new system with my Zamp solar panels and my Trojan batteries, I have not had a low voltage alarm. Well, I take that back. I've had one. Once that happened to me. It was about 11 o'clock at night. But anyways, as you know, in this video here, this is one of my most popular videos out. It has over 20,000 views. Is my buddy heater safe? I use my buddy heater a lot to heat in the camper when it gets cold. Early April now, it is going to be in the 30s tonight. Not tremendously cold. Jax is sitting at my feet here, but we can bundle up in bed and survive that just fine. But we do like to have a little bit of heat. And so I've used my buddy heater in the past to heat the camper on those really cold nights, and it has done a fabulous job. Up in Meacham Lake, where you can't run your generator at night, we've been down to 14, 15, and 16 degrees up there. With the buddy heater going in the camper, it keeps the camper at 65 degrees. Very comfortable, very comfortable. But the only drawback of that buddy heater, it produces moisture, a lot of condensation. And in the morning you have to take towels and you have to wipe it down, and it's not good in an RV. If you own an RV, you know water destroys an RV very quickly. So I was looking at other ways to heat. Now, you see a lot of YouTube videos about diesel heaters, and so I was able to try one out over the winter. I wanted to see if I could put it like on my back bumper of the camper and have the heating duct go up into the back window and keep the camper warm that way. But I found out, you know, a lot of people love those diesel heaters, but it takes a tremendous amount of power to run one of those heaters. I had one of the smaller heaters. Something just caught my eye over here. I don't hear any leaves rustling, so I guess we're okay. And I don't have a tremendous amount of power to run a heater. So I took my 500 watt Jackery out and we plugged it into that, and the heater started up, ran for about 10 minutes, then tripped. Didn't trip the Jackery. The heater tripped out. And so we ended up, we would have to put a new fuse in and started it up again. And we're also looking at maybe there was air in the line since it was new. We made sure that there was no air in the lines because diesels do not like air bubbles. And we started up again. We got about 20 minutes this time, tripped out. And I'm like, so we got to figure out what we're drawing here, because apparently the 500 watt Jackery, which I was told by this place, would run that heater easily. So we started looking at the draw of the heater, and at times that heater was calling for upward to 140 to 150 watts. The Jackery can handle that, but not through the 12 volt plug. So it would eventually blow the fuse. It wasn't blowing the Jackery, it was blowing the fuse. So I don't want to ruin my Jackery, so I'm like, let's get another power source. So we got another power source hooked up to it, and it tripped that out, and that had a 25 amp fuse in it. So I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. It's drawing too much power. I can't have something that's going to draw that much power. The buddy heater doesn't draw any power at all, only produces that freaking moisture. So I happened to be looking around one day when somebody pointed out a heater that they use and they love it. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I've used one of those before. But I didn't know they came that size. Back in 1998 during the ice storm, one of the heaters that got me through, because I didn't have a wood stove then, was a kerosene heater. They stand so tall, they're so big around that they have a flame in them, and that thing was awesome. It got me through the ice storm, and I continued to use it that winter, and then I took it out to my garage, and I used it in my garage because we put the wood stove in after that. And I continued to use it until the wick was all burned up in it, and I decided that I'm not going to get a new wick for it because it was, at that point, it was old. So anyways, this is what I got. It is a Dynaglow heater, and it's a kerosene heater. But this one here, to keep it from smoking, you have to put in the clear K1 kerosene. If you use the pink stuff, you're going to get smoke off it. It's going to smell when it burns. This one uses this type of fuel, and it's only 23 inches tall. It's a foot wide, and I tested it out in my garage, and it ran perfect. No power at all. Now, some of you are asking, well, if you don't have enough power, wouldn't it be better to add more batteries? It can be better to add more batteries. I've actually thought that through, but the batteries are 62 pounds a piece, and the more weight you put on your tongue, the more your trailer starts to get a little uneven when it goes down the road. So I'm looking for something that would be not break the bank, and because buying 2 more batteries would be about $500 to buy just 2 more batteries. And actually I'd have to buy 4 batteries because you can't take 2 new batteries and hook them up to 2 old batteries. So I'd have to buy all new batteries, which would be $1,000 for 4 batteries. So anyways, we're going to test this out tonight. And just to make sure, I do have my carbon monoxide detector in the camper. I have one here that I'm also going to use as a backup. And plus, I went down and spoke with the chief that took my spot in the fire department, and I asked if I could borrow the carbon monoxide meter. Now, this is not a detector, this is a meter. in that video that I did with the buddy heater, is my buddy heater safe, I measured the carbon monoxide with this meter. And I had a number of people argue with me. And it's a good thing I now know why people don't use their real names on YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff, because they're idiots. I have never seen some craziness. I had a kid I call him a kid, I don't know who it was, that wanted to argue with me that it's carbon dioxide that I need to measure, not carbon monoxide, because carbon dioxide kills more people. And I'm like, you do realize that carbon dioxide is what you exhale. So if you ever fell asleep with a blanket over your head, you didn't die. You might have woke up with a headache, but you didn't die. Carbon dioxide is what we exhale when we breathe. Carbon monoxide is the poisonous gas that is given off when a fossil fuel burning device, your furnace, your hot water heater, your buddy heater, is not burning properly, and it's emitting carbon monoxide. And it's a poisonous, odorless gas. Carbon dioxide is not poisonous. How it harms people is in a large quantity can displace the oxygen. So if you've ever seen a fire extinguisher that has a big hose on it or horn on it, and it looks like it's spewing out a fog, that is a carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. It displaces the oxygen in a fire, so the fire can't burn without oxygen. So these battles I went through, I actually had somebody tell me that I was wrong, that people expel carbon monoxide when they breathe, and that's why they have carbon monoxide alarms in the house. And I'm like, oh my God, these people, I can't believe it. The school system in this country, I don't want to get political on anything, but I cannot believe some of the people who are actually, either they're joking around or they're dead serious. I don't know. But anyways, we are going to try this heater out tonight. We're going to measure the carbon monoxide, if there is any, and I have this as my backup to my carbon monoxide detector in the camper, just in case. We're going to see how this burns. Now, I am going to have a window open for some ventilation, because I do believe that once this really gets going, it's probably going to get the camper warmer than I want it to be. So I'll have a window open for a little bit of ventilation. I do that anyways with the buddy heater. So I'm going to get this set up. Right now it's about 45 degrees, I'm going to say. It's 7 o'clock at night, and it's going to get dark here shortly, but we're going to fire this up, put it in the camper, close the camper up, and see how it goes. Alright folks, well, I just started up the kerosene heater, and I have it going in here in the camper. It's sundown, and it is 7:45 at night, and Jax is already heading to bed. He's had a long day. But there's the kerosene heater. I have my CO detector is over here by the TV. It is currently 55 degrees inside. It is 49 outside. I have the meter here, which I am going to turn on, and we're going to get an initial reading here. And if I am getting zeros across the board, the door is open, and I am going to Jax looks like he's gonna call it a night, and I'm gonna let this go for a little bit and see how it goes. It is now 9 o'clock, and had a little of excitement here. The heater was not the excitement. About 15 minutes after I set up the heater in here and I closed the door, I was sitting out by the fire, and all of a sudden all these red lights came down the road and stopped out here, and I'm like, uh-oh. There's a lost hiker on the trail that Jax and I are going to hike tomorrow. So they're all still down there. I am part of the DEC Volunteer Search and Rescue, but because I already cracked open one, I can't go. So I am here. I do have my lights all on outside in case the person comes out across the road from me or something. They will be able to see me over here. So that's the best I can do right now. That's what happens. You crack one open, you can't go on a call because it's zero tolerance. But anyways, we have been running for a while now, and even with all the excitement, I put the heater on low so it wouldn't put me out, and the meter is still showing zeros. Hopefully you can see that on there. I don't know if you can. Let me bring over here in the light. Zeros. And now to peep out of the other detector. So the meter has been zero all along, and we have been maintaining 66 degrees in the camper. Now it's 47 outside, so that is that's good. The other thing that I'm monitoring on this is that it has humidity, and I want to watch the humidity to see if it's going to build the condensation like the buddy heater does. I'm hoping it doesn't. The ice storm, this is 2023, the ice storm was in 1998, and I used that kerosene heater back then. I don't recall it having any moisture like on the windows at all. Now these windows, again, aren't thermal pane windows like you would have in a house. So I would think, I don't see any moisture on the windows, but is it cold enough yet? I don't know. So right now, it's doing well. We'll check back in a little bit and see how things are going. So let's go inside and see if we have a reading yet. I have not heard any alarm on anything. So let's come on in, turn the light on, turn my meter on. The carbon monoxide detector is sitting right over here by the TV. And this is still reading zero. I just turned it on. It will shut off after a while. But it is 20 minutes to 10, so it's been 40 minutes since my last update. And yeah, I'm getting zeros. So let's see what the temperature is. It should be maintaining 66 degrees. And it is maintaining 66 degrees. It's 46 outside. Which is interesting because the low that was predicted for tonight was, I think, 37. So, yeah, so far, this kerosene heater, I have it on low, is doing quite well. Jax has already decided to go to bed. He is back there in bed, snoring away. So, he's already had a long day. So anyways, we will check back before I tuck in for the night. I'm going to sit outside for a little bit longer to see if see what's going to happen up the road here. All right, folks, just a quick update, not on the heater, but the lost hiker situation. We now have a helicopter coming in. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but the helicopter's right over here. I can hear it. So, yeah, I got here today and there's been no traffic until tonight, and you could probably hear that now in the camera. Until tonight, there's been vehicles up and down this road. The rangers are here, the troopers are here, the sheriff's department is here. And here comes the helicopter. Oh, I cracked that one freaking drink too early. You know, they say when you join the military, you can take the man out of the military, but you can never take the military out of the man. Same thing with the fire service. You can never take the fire service out of the man. You can only take the man out of the fire service. There's the helicopter. They're probably doing the FLIR, the infrared. So they probably just picked me up. But they know I'm here anyways, because they've already been out here. So that's why I'm standing out here. I got my light on the camper right here, just in case the lost people come out over here, because they're just up the road. They're a quarter mile up the road, And according to the 911 dispatch, their cell phone pinged in this area. So this is quite the evening to start the camping season off. Well, here comes the crew right here. That looks like an ambulance there. Here comes some more. So it must be they might have brought out the lost hikers. Because there goes the second ambulance and a vehicle. So my years of emergency services tells me that that is a they brought the hikers out. It's been about 15 minutes since they brought the helicopter over. There goes the DEC. And so my experience tells me that they brought the hikers out, and they're now heading to Clifton Fine Hospital, which would be that way. And there goes the chief vehicle. So I think all is well now. I think they got everybody out of the woods. And I've been sitting out here with I put the light on the camper just in case somebody comes out on the road over there and they can see my light, so they know I'm here. But fun times on my first night out. So I had a friend of mine tell me that I had to watch Yellowstone. So over the winter I bought the DVDs, so when I'm camping I can watch Yellowstone at night. It is now 20 minutes to 11, and all the excitement from down the road is now over. The trucks have all went back to their stations. They've checked back in service. Let me just tell you that I've been involved in emergency services for 30 years. 30 years plus. And down the road, you had the New York State Rangers, New York State Police, and the Sheriff's Department. They were the only paid people there. Cranberry Lake Fire and Rescue, DeGrasse Fire and First Responders, and Star Lake Fire and Rescue, all volunteers, were there giving their time to find these lost hikers. They are now at Clifton Fine Hospital. Everything is good. And so hats off to those people for doing that. I wish I could have gone down and helped, but I've already cracked one open, and I would be violating the policy that I strictly enforced was the zero tolerance law. So I could not go down. So anyways, this is the final update of the of this heater, and it is keeping the camper at 66 degrees. It's on low, and it is, let me move over here in the light. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's zeros on there, and the detector that is up there by the TV is has not gone off. That is a fire CO combo, carbon monoxide detector combo, and it has not gone off. The camper is equipped with a carbon monoxide detector too. I have got nothing here. Jack has been sleeping on the couch and in the bed for the last couple of hours. He's exhausted, and we haven't even gone on a hike yet. But anyways, will this kerosene heater work for me? I believe it will, because right now it is keeping this camper quite warm, even though it's, let's see what it is. It is now 43 degrees out. quarter to 11, so probably it might get down to about 38 or so. The low is supposed to be 37. But that is this kerosene heater. Zeros on the board so far. I do have a window cracked here in the back for a little bit of ventilation, and the amount of heat that this thing is putting off, I'll probably crack a window in the bedroom too. The bedroom's right up through there. But hey, this might be something that will work for me when I am camping when it's really cold out, like 15 degrees. I think this will work just fine. The key is to this that I found over the years with the one that I had was to use the clear K1 kerosene. If you use the pink stuff, you're going to get an odor. And I don't smell anything in here with this. So right now I'm pretty pleased with this unit. I was pleased with the buddy heater, except for the condensation. So I think I'll wrap this video up now because it's quarter to 11 and it's almost bedtime. And I will have a window cracked open, and I do have my detectors going. So until next time, I'm going to find my adventure tomorrow. I'm going to go hiking on the trail that the lost hiker was on. Hopefully I don't end up the same way. Alright folks, you watched all the way through. Thanks for that. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. Continue to follow the adventure. And remember, folks, tomorrow is no guarantee for any one of us. So disconnect from that Wi-Fi, connect to this out here. You won't be disappointed.